What is up, everyone? Welcome to the breakdown here for the Tri-State Open. Thank you again to the EPL for bringing me on board to do these. And yeah, so we're going to jump into, so if you're coming from the middle or the Dorito side breakdown, welcome. If you're starting with the snake side breakdown, make sure you jump over and watch the other ones as well so you get a whole picture of the field. So for this one, let me actually go up so I can explain a little bit. Come on. So what we're going to consider is everything over this way. When we're talking about the middle, I'll have the back center, and all of this. The Dorito side will be the tower and over, and then the snake side, what we're going to be talking about here, is from the Aztec over into the actual snake itself. So make sure, again, like I said, that you're looking at the whole breakdown for the Dorito side as well as for the middle, and let's jump into it. So one thing that you can notice right away, let me get to the box, is this shot coming straight through here. Now, again, if you came from the middle breakdown, you already know that this shot is going to be here. I think some guys are going to be able to get gun up across here. Once you get to about here, you're going to be safe from the back center. The issue would be a drop shot from the tower shooting over this way. But if you were to be gunning into the center, this guy wouldn't have a terrible shot. I think people will play in this middle, in this brick, but they have a lot of room to play with. So, you know, maybe you're going to have to dive out here and kind of get dominance down the wire. But as you come out, let's see, when we look over at the Dorito side first and kind of in the middle. So the middle, if you're on this snake side, just assume, you know, kind of worry about the middle. You can see how busy it is. There's a lot of options for people to go to. So you don't want to get trapped and or get kind of baited into making a move and just kind of assume that no one is there. So if you're not wide and you don't have eyes looking in that way, just really check off on this middle here. Looking at the Dorito side, this guy could maybe help the Dorito side slowing it down just because of being able to shoot these gaps in through here. But it's a far shot. That's the only thing, is that you're shooting cross field to shoot into that gap. So it's not like the most ideal, but if you had it where someone dove out and were shooting into this cut just to make sure that they weren't making a real big run down the Dorito side, this guy could help a little bit with a safety valve. One thing that you will see is he is pretty useless looking at the snake side because you can't stop anything. There is, yeah, I mean, there's no gap. Go back down to more of a normal height. I mean, you'd have to step out to shoot through here, which you technically could do, and just kind of play in this kind of dead zone, I guess, if you wanted to do this. But then your mirror could still shoot through, probably drop it in on you. If you're trying to get up a little bit into like this zone, I would say you'd want to just go right up into this Aztec instead of floating through here. But that's where you're actually going to be able to do something. From this Aztec, you really can't have anyone... You can't slow anything down on this snake side. Now, the middle side, if they haven't gotten wide, this is a great prop to stop at because you have this whole gap here. Even shooting into, let me just see. So it's behind the back center. So it's not like you can bounce it off there, but you might be able to actually bounce it off of this Aztec and it kind of skip in at least enough that it would freak that person out if they're trying to make a move out. That could be an option. I don't know if it's going to go into the tower just because you're having to shoot more direct into the bunker. So, but it might be enough that if it kind of floods this zone here that, you know, it might be kind of slow them down a little bit. Let's see as we move up into here. So let's look, actually. I'm curious about this route. So if someone was just to run and dive out into here, is it worth it? So let's make this move up. Yeah, I mean, once you're past here, it's pretty safe to make the move up. Because by the time someone gets into the middle, you should already be in this Aztec. They'd have to have like a real perfect shot. They'd have to float through here and shoot through this little channel to shoot you. but is it worth the move? That is the big question. If they aren't already in the snake, coming here would be actually pretty solid, because you can sit here and pump this gap and they're going to have a very hard time filling out. And then if they do, you can always dive out and match them. Maybe bouncing off the pin. I don't think it's going to, possibly. I think the angle is a little bit too hard. If you shot more in like the front section, it might kind of skip in, but I don't know if it's really going to do a whole lot. And because this gap is so big, that guy can pull back and shoot into the gap here. So let's go back. I want to look at the inside route. Is that one better? So if I was moving into here, and the reason why I'm not turning is because I'm looking and seeing, it's important with any time you do any sort of walking a field, who is it that shoots you? Because it doesn't matter if I can get to a bunker and shoot 13 people if I'm dead 2 steps off the box. So just make sure that you're checking that kind of stuff. So as we're making the move out, so this actually wouldn't be a bad other option. The counter to this would be if someone floated off the box and shot through this gap. To stop someone doing this, but you might still be able to read the paint a little bit, and then you have a lot of options to either dive straight in, kind of do like a broken arrow up and over. So yeah, I think this Aztec is probably going to be used. Let's look as we go out. Now this is where it's going to get real hairy for someone making a move out. So you can see the back center has a great shot through here. The back center actually might be someone that would be useful to shoot this gap if they haven't gone super wide. If they have gone wide, can the back center do anything? Kind of. I mean, they can shoot through here, but I think you can bounce it off this pin and it would skip in a little bit. Obviously, you have a huge wedge that you can pop the top. You have a lot of options to shoot around, and then you would have this guy. But if you got low, I think you might be able to get out of the way of their shot, and then you just have to really contain the back center. This would be an issue. So I don't see this snake being one that people are diving in and just going like all the way down and going to work, because this gap is definitely big. If you came from our Dorito side, it looked like the Dorito side might be a little bit more of a first punch, kind of some chaos in the middle. But this snake side is definitely going to be a little bit more patient. It doesn't really seem like it's one of those that you're going to dive out and just go all the way down. So let's see. As we're coming out, I really wouldn't worry too much about this guy shooting you off the break. It would be more the back center. Just because they'd have to run and gun around and be shooting at this. I just don't really see this being super effective here. Not that someone couldn't do it. I think it's possible, but this guy I would say is more of a threat. And then even with the brick shooting through here, because they can kind of float and then come up and then be kind of more established shooting the cross. But I think the thing that you have here is, again, the options. So if you take the shallow route, the deep route up, kind of taking like a mid route, even like pausing here for a second, trying to, kind of like edge out and then dive out. I guess you could try to do that and make the move in. Now, someone trying to make the snake off the break, I think is going to be difficult. It's not impossible, but just look how big the gaps are. I mean, like, as I'm coming out, I'm seeing these humongous zones that you have to get through, which you can use to your advantage if you are, like I said, changing up those routes. So the issue, though, is your route is pretty much going straight in or going around this snake corner and going up. So it'll be interesting to see how people play this, because that's just huge. So it's definitely, it might be just who's a little bit more patient on this side, and then throw a risk every once in a while and see what you can get away with. But yeah, this isn't going to be an easy one to get into. And also, for you snake guys, start hydrating now. You're going to be running a lot probably. Let's see. Okay, so if I am in this corner, I do like that you can shoot down the wire, and it is straight in line with the wire. So you are able to shoot right down the wire and be able to help contain the snake. It's going to be hard for them to make any moves on the inside and then hop over, just because, again, with how open it is on that side, I think the moves will be down the actual wire itself. Not impossible for them to hop the inside, but at least I can kind of sit right here and shoot down the wire. Also wrap every once in a while, put pressure in on the Aztec here. You might be able to bounce it off the pin from this section, actually. Maybe bounce it off there and it might skip in. Let me look, actually. Go up a little bit and just look at the angle. Yeah, that might work. If you kind of shoot maybe about here, and it would skip over into that Aztec. So that could definitely be an option there. So let's move into the snake now. All right, like I've said before, you always want to check it. I highly doubt that this little pin is going to be useful, but you never know, and it's better to stop and look than to just assume. Yeah, not a whole lot to do there. You're pretty open on this side, and I feel like you could do. Oh, it's actually blocked out there, so I wonder. Would it be useful to shoot this? You're just blind to a lot of stuff. So, yeah, I mean, you could shoot in front of that little W, but I'm not really liking that too much for that option, at least. Let's move over. So if you wanted to come down and get closer with your snake, rather than being in the wedge, you would be able to do that from here. And when they start playing the wrap, it'll be interesting to see. Again, making these gaps, you're going to have to dive hard, like stay low and dive hard. I mean, just that the gap looks like it's big enough that it's hard enough to get through, and you do have a couple people that can shoot you. Like you have the Dorito, if they're on this gap, they can shoot there. Both cans. The brick can probably shoot through here as well. That tower, the back center does have a shot through here. So, yeah, man, it's going to be... Like I said, I think it's going to be a lot of patience on this side. Obviously, capitalize when you have the move, but snake guys you're gonna learn your patience on this layout and picking your timing for sure. Now this isn't bad to come here to shoot into the gap as well for the Dorito. Maybe into the middle, but they can kind of hide, so they can kind of be in that crease and not have to worry so much about you. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the home can definitely still shoot through here. Can you play the wrap, though? I mean, they can shoot the outside, but you do have the wrap. And now when you make the move to their side, you still have to worry about a lot of these gaps. Yeah, this is definitely not a snake that you get in and you're like, okay, I'm going into their snake one. If you can, they really messed up. I'll be honest with you. So, I mean, if you're coming from the middle and the Dorito side, you already know that. But yeah, if you're just starting out from here with the snake, it's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy to make these big moves if people are on their jobs. If they're off their jobs, then yeah, for sure you can come through and probably catch people sleeping. But even like for me to come here, I still can't get 100% guarantee of a shot on that 50 right there because they can still get into the crease and be safe. So it's not even like I can come here and guarantee a kill there. I mean, even I have to start wrapping. Yeah, I have to start wrapping their snake too to start getting some better shots on players. So, yeah, definitely interesting. I think it's definitely going to be one of those. You're gonna have to be patient and just make sure that you're patient. I don't even know what else to say about that. It's not going to be easy to get out here. I think if you can capitalize on it and you're seeing that they're having a hard time shooting people off the break, 100%, you might as well try to send it, just to have a little bit more depth. I feel like the attack is going to come first from the Dorito side and then maybe a little bit more in the middle and then closing out more from the snake or kind of helping clean up on the snake side. But so be it. That's just how it goes, right? You got to be able to play every style of paintball. So thanks for coming along for the snake side here. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please make sure that you do so. And thanks again to the EPL. If you're going to be going over into the middle, I'll see you there in a minute. If you're going to the Dorito side, I'll see you there in a minute. If this is where you ended, thanks for watching all three. I'll see you guys in a bit. And as always, remember, watch, learn, win. Thanks.